Clint Eastwood Jr. came into existence on May 31, 1930 in San Francisco, California during the Great Depression. His formative years were characterized by frequent relocations as his family pursued employment opportunities throughout California, a transient upbringing that instilled in him both self-sufficiency and emotional restraint. Eastwood was a quiet, contemplative child, more at ease observing than conversing, characteristics that would subsequently define his on-screen character. Music performed an early function in his existence, particularly jazz and piano, which cultivated a lifelong appreciation for rhythm, atmosphere, and understatement, elements that would subsequently influence his filmmaking approach. Following high school graduation, Eastwood maintained a variety of occupations, including lifeguard, lumberjack, and gas station employee. These encounters grounded him in working-class realities and provided him profound respect for ordinary labor and resilience. His trajectory to acting was neither immediate nor guaranteed. It emerged gradually, almost accidentally, after he was discharged from the U.S. Army and commenced exploring opportunities in Hollywood. Eastwood's early acting profession was characterized by rejection and uncertainty. Signed by Universal Pictures in the mid-1950s, he was dismissed after minor roles failed to impress studio executives who criticized his appearance, voice, and perceived absence of charisma. Rather than defeating him, these obstacles hardened his determination. He continued studying acting, accepting small characters, and patiently awaiting an opportunity that would permit him to develop rather than conform. That opportunity materialized in 1959 with the television program Rawhide. Cast as Rowdy Yates, Eastwood secured steady work and visibility over 8 seasons. Though the character provided financial stability and recognition, he experienced creative constraint and pursued more intricate material. His willingness to assume a major risk, departing American television to work in Italian cinema, would transform his existence and film history. In the mid-1960s, Eastwood accepted a modestly compensated character in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. These productions revolutionized the Western category and introduced Eastwood's legendary man with no name character, a laconic, morally ambiguous anti-hero whose minimal dialogue and piercing gaze communicated volumes. Eastwood's interpretation redefined masculinity on screen. He was neither flamboyant nor verbose. Instead, his power resided in restraint, presence, and implication. The achievement of these productions transformed him into an international celebrity and permanently altered the tone and aesthetics of Western cinema. More significantly, they provided Eastwood control over his profession selections, creative direction, and professional independence. Returning to Hollywood in the late 1960s and 1970s, Eastwood became among the industry's most bankable personalities. Productions such as Dirty Harry cemented his image as a tough, uncompromising enforcer of justice. The character of Harry Callahan sparked intense debate, praised by some as a reflection of public frustration with crime, and criticized by others as emblematic of authoritarianism. Eastwood, however, consistently resisted simplistic interpretations, insisting that his characters reflected moral complexity rather than ideology. Throughout this phase, Eastwood exhibited remarkable versatility, appearing in westerns, action productions, thrillers, romantic dramas, and comedies. Movies like Play Misty for Me, High Plains Drifter, The Outlaw Josie Wales, Every Which Way But Loose, and Escape from Alcatraz demonstrated his scope and developing confidence behind the camera. He wasn't merely acting, he was learning, experimenting, and quietly preparing for his most substantial transformation. Eastwood's directorial mastery. As a director, Clint Eastwood cultivated a distinctive approach characterized by economy, emotional restraint, and profound respect for performers. He favored minimal takes, natural illumination, and understated storytelling, permitting interpretations to breathe and narratives to develop without excess. His productions frequently explored themes of aging, remorse, redemption, violence, and moral consequence, subjects rarely treated with such subtlety in mainstream cinema. His directorial accomplishments reached a pinnacle with Unforgiven, 1992, a revisionist Western that dismantled the myths of heroism and violence that had characterized the category. The production secured Eastwood Academy Awards for Best Director and Best Picture, firmly positioning him as one of the great filmmakers of his generation. He followed this triumph within a remarkable series of critically acclaimed productions, including Mystic River, $1 Million Baby, Letters from Iwo Jima, Gran Torino, Changeling, and Amicus Sniper. His recognition extends far beyond Hollywood. Eastwood has been honored with 3 César Awards, among Europe's most prestigious film distinctions, reflecting the profound respect he commands within the international cinematic community as recognition of his substantial influence on American film culture. He was also awarded the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award, a tribute reserved for artists whose work has fundamentally influenced cinema's identity and evolution in the United States. In 2000, Eastwood's global stature was cemented when the Venice Film Festival bestowed upon him the Golden Lion for Lifetime Achievement, among the most revered honors in international film. This award celebrated not merely individual productions, but an entire body of work characterized by moral complexity, emotional restraint, and a distinctive directorial voice that has remained powerful well into his later years. France, a nation renowned for its profound reverence for film as an art form, has twice honored Eastwood with its highest civilian distinctions. In 1994, he was named a Commander of the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, recognizing his exceptional contribution to the arts and his influence on cultural existence worldwide. More than a decade afterwards, in 2005, he received the Legion of Honor, France's most prestigious decoration, positioning him among an elite group of global personalities whose achievements transcend borders and generations. Together, these accolades paint the portrait of an artist whose influence is not confined to any singular nation or period, but whose legacy continues inspiring and defining cinema on a truly global scale. Eastwood's personal journey. Clint Eastwood's marriage to Margaret or Maggie Neville Johnson was the longest and, in numerous respects, the most intricate romantic chapter of his existence. They encountered in 1953, when Eastwood remained a struggling young person with no clear trajectory to stardom. During that period, he was working a variety of occupations, including as a lifeguard and laborer, while pursuing acting opportunities with minimal success. Maggie Johnson, poised, intelligent, and grounded, represented stability during a phase when Eastwood's future was uncertain. They married on December 19, 1953, initiating a union that would persist more than 3 decades. In the early years of their marriage, his profession was slow to develop, and financial insecurity was a constant concern. Maggie performed a crucial role during this phase, furnishing emotional support as Eastwood navigated repeated professional obstacles. When he finally achieved breakthrough success with the television program Rawhide 1959 to 1965, their existences transformed dramatically. Fame introduced wealth, visibility, and opportunity, but it also introduced strains that would test the marriage for years. As Eastwood's star ascended through his legendary characters in Sergio Leone's Man with No Name trilogy, and subsequently as Inspector Harry Callahan in the Dirty Harry productions, his demanding work schedule and increasing independence altered their relationship's dynamic. Maggie predominantly remained outside Hollywood's spotlight, preferring privacy and a quieter domestic existence. This contrast between Eastwood's public character and Maggie's reserved nature became more pronounced gradually. The marriage was characterized by extended periods of separation and well-documented infidelities, which Eastwood subsequently acknowledged candidly. Despite these difficulties, the couple remained legally wed for decades, an arrangement that reflected both emotional complexity and a mutual sense of responsibility. Maggie and Clint had 2 children together: Kyle Eastwood, born 1968, who became a successful jazz musician, and Allison Eastwood, born 1972, who pursued professions in acting and filmmaking. Maggie's devotion to her children and her efforts to maintain family continuity were central to her function during this period. In 1978, following 25 years of marriage, Maggie and Clint formally separated, though their divorce would not be finalized until 1984. The lengthy gap between separation and divorce underscored the deeply intertwined nature of their existences and finances. When the divorce was finalized, it was among the most expensive settlements in Hollywood at that moment, reflecting Eastwood's immense achievement and Maggie's long-standing function as his wife during his ascent to fame. Despite their marriage's ultimate conclusion, Maggie Johnson remains a foundational personality in Clint Eastwood's personal chronicle. She was present before the fame, endured the pressures that accompanied it, and raised their children predominantly away from Hollywood's excesses. Their relationship, though imperfect, influenced Eastwood's comprehension of family responsibility and ambition's personal cost. Eastwood's reflections on Rob Reiner. At 95, Clint Eastwood speaks with a clarity that arrives only from having experienced a complete creative existence, unburdened by the need to please. Reflecting back across more than 7 decades in Hollywood, Eastwood contemplates not merely his personal profession, but the industry's changing tone and the individuals who have come to symbolize those shifts. When questioned about Rob Reiner, Eastwood doesn't speak with bitterness or hostility. Instead, his comments are measured, philosophical, and rooted in a conviction that Hollywood has drifted away from its original purpose, telling narratives that unite rather than divide. "I've never had a problem with Rob as a filmmaker," Eastwood states. "He's talented. You don't create the productions he's created without comprehending character and timing." Eastwood acknowledges Reiner's accomplishments, particularly his early work, which emphasized humor, warmth, and human connection. To Eastwood, those productions represented a period of Hollywood when less consumed by ideological signaling and more concentrated on craft. What troubles Eastwood, however, is what he perceives as a transformation, not merely in Reiner, but in the culture around him. Somewhere along the line, the business stopped being about curiosity, Eastwood reflects. It became about certainty, and certainty is dangerous in art. In Eastwood's perspective, Reiner has become emblematic of a Hollywood class that no longer tolerates disagreement, mistaking moral conviction for moral superiority. Eastwood contrasts this with his personal approach to filmmaking and public existence. "I've never had a problem with Rob as a filmmaker," Eastwood states. "He's talented. You don't create the productions he's created without comprehending character and timing." Eastwood acknowledges Reiner's accomplishments, particularly his early work, which emphasized humor, warmth, and human connection. To Eastwood, those productions represented a period of Hollywood when less consumed by ideological signaling and more concentrated on craft. What troubles Eastwood, however, is what he perceives as a transformation, not merely in Reiner, but in the culture around him. Somewhere along the line, the business stopped being about curiosity, Eastwood reflects. It became about certainty, and certainty is dangerous in art. In Eastwood's perspective, Reiner has become emblematic of a Hollywood class that no longer tolerates disagreement, mistaking moral conviction for moral superiority. Eastwood contrasts this with his personal approach to filmmaking and public existence. "I've never had a problem with Rob as a filmmaker," Eastwood states. "He's talented. You don't create the productions he's created without comprehending character and timing." Eastwood acknowledges Reiner's accomplishments, particularly his early work, which emphasized humor, warmth, and human connection. To Eastwood, those